Welcome back to the More Fluent English podcast. If you've ever wondered what the difference is between an American accent and a British accent, this episode's for you. We also share some great tips for pronunciation and vocabulary building. Hey friend, I have an exciting episode for you today. This is episode 50, and I'm speaking with my friend Ale Astudillo from Lengua Inglesa y Uso, which has over 220,000 followers now. Congratulations. Thank you for being on the podcast today. This is a real treat for my listeners. Thanks. Yeah, this is a real treat for my listeners because usually they only listen to me talk. So we have exchanged some voice messages here and there, but this is the first time we're actually speaking in real time, face to face. So I'm in the southeastern part of the US in Alabama. And where are you located right now?
Yeah, Santiago, Chile, which is the capital.
Right. So
we would say they're very, very central Chile.
Okay, right in the middle of the country.
Yeah.
It's exactly. It's a long, narrow country, so
yeah, literally.
And
literally. Just in the middle.
That's great. And you can see if you're watching the video of this podcast that Ale's wearing a t-shirt and I'm in a sweater. Obviously the seasons are different.
Yeah, different, but yeah, I'm literally, you can't really feel me, but I'm literally melting. Sweating a lot. That's really uncomfortable. I wanted to use my fan, but not really good idea because it's really noisy.
Yeah,
so I prefer to just remain like this.
Right. Well, here, we are coming to the end of winter, and today is just a soggy, gloomy day because it's raining. But warmer temperatures are ahead, so I'm excited for that. I don't like the winter very much.
Well, I think we are the opposite here. I love winter here. Probably is I would say it's my favorite season.
No, I prefer sunshine and warm weather.
Well, things as far as I'm concerned, things are different in the US because you have plenty of snow. So it falls no end. So I think that could be annoying.
Well, I'm from New York originally, and it's true there. They have a lot of snow. We don't really get snow here where I'm at, but it's cold. I like to just wear shorts and a t-shirt and go outside, not have to have all the layers.
Okay, yeah, you imagine.
Yeah. Okay,
so I'm just
so
really thirsty.
No, please go ahead. Can you tell us, so English is not your first language. So
no.
When did you start learning English?
Well, everything began here when I was 12. At the beginning, I didn't take it seriously. It's just I use it as a tool. I had some good and bad teachers, but then I would say that in 2016, I sat the first certificate, which is from Cambridge. So I jumped from at the very beginning, not a lot of translations. I usually tell my followers that they not really translate, and that is exactly what it. But the difference is that I already know how well. There's some different philosophers here, but I'm against translations. But I personally started with lots of translations. At that time, I used the closed captions from TV.
Right.
So when I used to watch TV shows here, I learned a lot of English. And the thing is that I still use the dictionaries. I have those dictionaries here, really big ones here, and I use them a lot here. I didn't really have those opportunities here when everything is digital. You can access dictionaries easily here and find different information.
Yes.
But the thing is that I never had any kind of interaction with native speakers until I was 14. Yeah, when I was 14, I had my first interaction with a native speaker. I was at the beginning, I was a little bit shy, but then when I got the feel of it, yeah, things went smoothly. And I think I did at that time. I think I did a really good job. Yeah, and the native speaker was actually impressed. He was from the US. I think, I don't remember well, but Oklahoma, but I don't remember the state, yeah, or the place. But yeah, and then that just moved on. Here I started, and the thing is that yeah, because what my background is a little bit different because I didn't originally study English. Yeah, I did a degree in another field, which actually in the end I dropped out. But then I realized that English was my thing. So then actually I had to ask for some advice to another teacher I had here back then. And he told me, okay, the first thing you need to do is just get a certificate. Try to certify your English. And then I was, okay, I was like, what thing? So, okay, you can sit the FCE. At that time, it was known as the FCE or B2. Okay, I did it. 2 years later, in 2018, I sent the C1, which was a complete utter torture. But I did it. I managed to pass. I passed it, and yeah, it was an ordeal. Yeah, but the good thing is that I was able to get or probably absorb the whole thing or the interesting part of the advanced language, which is actually the things I teach or I usually share with my followers. And then in next year, in 2019, I completed the CELTA course, yeah, which is probably one of the best experiences I've had in my life. It's just bloody amazing. There are common misconceptions with this CELTA. The thing is that they think that they teach English to you, but it's not that way. They teach you methodologies, how to, and the reason is simple. You already know English. We have it difficult. I think I picked up things easy at the beginning. I had some complications, but yeah, I succeeded in the end, and the experience is just fantastic. And that's the reason I do not really show any translations. I just dislike them so much. So that's the thing. I know it sounds really strict here. Or probably squared, but it proves so effective. Yeah, I've done so many times that people actually realize, they come to realize that it hinders the process of learning. As obviously, it's not something that it's not research I carried out, but how the situation, how the situation is. So that's the thing, and that's it. I mean, I've been teaching English for once I got my certificate. That was in 2019. So I've been teaching English for almost 5 years.
Almost 5 years.
So the journey has been really, really great. Yeah.
And so you tend to have more of a British accent because of the kinds of learning that you've done with the certifications. What do you call your accent?
I mean, not exactly. There is a story. Well, I studied the received pronunciation accent, which I would personally say that is not really. It doesn't sound really RP. It's not just. I wouldn't know what to call it, but the thing is that I've been mistaken for a native speaker sometimes, and then those native speakers weren't able to tell what my accent was. So I explained to them, no, I'm Chilean. And they said, no way, you're not Chilean. You're a native speaker. No, I'm not a native speaker. Now, I picked up my accent from my teacher. My teacher is from the UK. He was born in Surrey, that part of the UK. then he told me, okay, at the beginning of the lessons, he told me that I could learn the IPA thing. So I started learning IPA. But as the years passed, I've studied a lot of phonology,
Right.
and not only that, I mean, understanding how regional differences, and they're just amazing.
For any listeners that don't know, the IPA is the International Phonetic Alphabet, and I know you promote that a lot. Why do you think that's the best method for pronunciation?
Well, the thing is that it provides a really standard pronunciation. You wouldn't really sound really that American or that British, but it allows you to produce or really have a decent production of individual sounds. And when you study more phonology, you start to connect things. You understand how the connect speech works. That is one way, especially if you're really into learning the IPA. But for those who don't, especially kids or children, this is a little bit controversial, but you can literally show them the gestures, so they can move your lips, your mouth, etc.
Right.
And play games. But it's really difficult. Yeah, it's really difficult. I mean, yes, I would say it is the best way if you want to improve, have a pristine pronunciation. But the thing is that not every single person is linguistically equipped to deal with it. So they resort to using the shadowing, which is not really a bad technique. But the problem is that if your listening skills are not really that good, you may be pronouncing something that you think you're doing well, but in the end is incorrect.
Right.
So let's say that
not
you want
all
to pronounce the
languages
word,
have the same sounds.
Word.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's really confusing. So they may think, okay, so I think it should be saying idea. So they say idea, and it's not idea because I'm saying the in Spanish. Because of that interference or transfer from Spanish, we reflect a tendency to say idea. But in the end, when you study the IPA, the reality is often disappointing. So it's actually it's not idea, so you say idea with a schwa. And when you understand what the schwa is, your mind go.
Right.
That's the way. That's the
but
thing.
it really especially for adults, it does help you understand what those sounds are and how you can produce them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but it's a really good tool. I'm always promoting these IPA on page, and anybody can do it. There is this common misconception that linguists or academic people should only study IPA, and anyone can do it. It's just there are no restrictions. Right? You just go for it. Yeah, I know at the beginning it's really, really frustrating. You're going to cry. Yeah, I understand it. Yeah. I actually I suffered first years when I started. Yeah.
I mean, it helps
at the beginning,
me.
but
it helps me help Spanish speakers with their pronunciation, because as a native speaker, I had never even heard of the IPA until fairly recently, but it helps me be able to help someone else who's learning English know how to produce those sounds that don't exist in Spanish, like the schwa, for example. So it's helped me also, because you can't just try to pronounce a word in English using Spanish sounds. And I see a lot of people online trying to do that, and it doesn't. But it's the same from English to Spanish. I can't pronounce Spanish words with my English sounds.
It's not possible. I mean, it is possible. So you've seen all of these. I don't want to sound here controversial here, but I've seen lots of people, especially not really qualified teachers, trying to show the pronunciation with Spanish. Then it's not really possible. I'm going to give you a prime example here. This can be the word. For instance, I would say, okay, comfortable. Right? with the those with the Spanish sounds, they would say comfortable, comfortable. So it sounds horrible. It sounds really bad. So if you want to have really a really decent interaction, have a deep understanding, or prove effective communication, there is no way you can say that. And actually, I don't know, but I've uploaded a recent video here with the pronunciation of what was the total. And some people here said they should be understood as huevo de toro. God. And this is because they try to use the sounds, and unbelievably, you will notice that some teachers are using those techniques to show them to the followers that you have to pronounce it like that. So instead of saying what was, say huevos, say huevos. And the question is, is any native speaker going to understand that? I mean, it's not possible. Imagine that you're shopping here. You go straight into the cashier and they, okay, huevo de toro. Imagine who would have said that? It's just completely nuts, absolutely nuts. So it's not really that difficult. If you, no one is actually asking you for really fluency, really incredible fluency, but you could do it slowly. What was the total? Yeah, or the total. But it's not really that difficult. If you study the sounds, you practice, you can do it. Anybody can do it. So that's the thing here. But I'm super glad that you noticed that the detrimental effects that these one has on students and the student speech. So
well,
just,
even
a big no.
When I was a Spanish teacher in a high school, but I also taught the English language learners. And so I really thought about how I could try to help them pronounce English correctly. And also with my English students, trying to teach them Spanish. And when my daughter was younger, she had a little bit of a speech impediment. So we worked a lot with forming our lips and our mouth in a way to help her create sounds. And so I used that in my classes, and that's really all that it is. Learning how to pronounce words.
For instance, when I teach, let's say a language institute here, I don't really show IPA. I don't do it. And this is exactly what I've said here so many times on the page. If you're well trained in these, you should be able to take the theory of IPA, transfer it to an easy way to teach. So I say, okay, round your lips, okay, push your tongue a little bit forward or backwards, etc. Move it like that. Try to say try to say that. Play with it. I mean, play with your mouth or get to know your own mouth. And it's really easy. It's not really difficult. But to do that, you have to understand how the theory works. Otherwise, it's just no. For instance, I've seen people try to teach the schwa as an intermediate of the A and the E. So you would say A in the middle. And that's confusing. It's just really confusing. And I keep it simple. I'd say, okay, relax your mouth and say I know it's difficult. Yeah, I know, I understand. But if you practice and try to identify, because you have to develop this at the very beginning, and then you'll understand, okay, it's not A, it's not A, it's And that's it. And I practice repeat. And so you can see it's not really difficult.
And to know where the sound is coming from.
You have to have the will to do so.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing here. Sometimes that's the thing here. We have to work on things, which is actually a little bit difficult. But when you understand this, for instance, when you say the word like that, word, obviously it has to do with the articulation of my lips, my tongue, but also here, right here.
In your throat.
So it's not really, if I try to dismiss this, you would say work, you say? So because I'm forcing myself to say the E, and as a result, the sound does not really come out well. So
Right.
that's the thing here. But it's not really difficult. Yeah. If you have the tools, if you have the will, you can do it.
And I think a lot of people that are learning a new language, any language, they want to try to speak it quickly. They want to speak fast. And that inhibits them a lot of times
Oh my God,
because
yeah.
then they're not producing the sounds, and that leads to miscommunications. So I tell people just,
Exactly.
it's okay to slow down.
Yeah, it's perfectly okay. The other problem with those speak fast videos, it's not wrong. Yeah, if you understand how a fast speech works, okay, brilliant. But it's not a requirement. No one is forced to say, for instance, a simple question. You could say, did you do it? Was it? Instead of saying, did you do it? We know that in fast speech sounds like, did you do it? Or just, did you do it? But to understand that, there is the theory which explains why did and you blend. And they form just one sound. J, as in jack, or image. But the problem is that they're telling you, okay, speak fast, okay? Do it quickly. But why? And sometimes they pick extracts from movies, TV shows, showing people do it. But the problem is that it works because it is scripted. They script, and they have literally they committed to memory what they need to say.
Right.
So it's automatic. It happens like that. But it's not something necessary. So those videos I actually uploaded a video some time ago about this, and I explained to people what the problem is. And the thing is, it's very simple. To follow your own pace, your own rhythm. Speak as you wish. It's not like, oh, speak fast. No, you have to do it. No, if you just speak like this, we want to understand it. No, it's not true. It's not true. So receiving or perceiving these kind of fast speech, okay, good. But if we want to produce it, it's a complete different story.
Right. And a lot of my audience is entrepreneurs who want to improve their fluency and confidently communicate in English, to be able to grow their business, to grow their audience, etc. So the speaking part is what makes people really nervous a lot of times because of those things. So if they can slow down and just sort of go with the flow, think about what they want to say, and we focus on the listening part, because that's where you need to understand those blends and the flow of the language so you can understand, and that's the communication. Do you have any tips for people that want to build their confidence to communicate with native speakers?
Well, the first thing is that they should not be aware of so many mistakes. Oh, she needs food. We know that it should be she needs food. Huh? And actually, she should be, even if you are more advanced, but she needs. So there is the voicing at the end because of the next. But that sounds too advanced. So do not worry about the mistakes at the very beginning. But the flow, the fluency in this case, loses the flow. So you don't want to do that. You want to speak. It actually happens to my students when they're trying to speak. They the first thing they say is, oh, I feel so nervous. And then I question it, why? You're speaking to me, no one's watching you here. There's no reason for you to be scared. So just do it. Don't worry about the mistakes at the beginning. But as you make progress, you have to start correcting the things here so you can overcome those mistakes. But I would say that's the first step to becoming more confident. Just ditch those mistakes here. Try to make yourself understood. In fact, native speakers will not tell you, oh, sorry, you made a mistake. Oh, no, sorry, no, you didn't use the structure correctly. No one would ever say that. They want just to make you have to make yourself understood. That's the point.
Exactly.
Then next step, you can just correct your errors. And that's really simple. I think this is why some people become so so scared of speaking. Yeah, they're so preoccupied with these mistakes. Yeah, but it's not really that complicated.
And
It's just
I mean,
that's it.
I
Probably one of the best
understand
ways
that.
to build confidence.
I get it, because when I have to speak in Spanish, I'm like, oh. But if you just sort of relax and rely on your education
Yeah.
and what you've learned, like you said, it's
Mhm.
very rare that somebody is going to say, oh, well, you made a mistake, so I'm not going to talk to you anymore.
Yeah. That actually, yeah, and that took me back to those videos. This is actually a really common example. They show, for instance, the structure, do you have a pen? And the other person says, yes, I have. Yeah, whenever the short answer is, yes, I do. But even if you say, yes, I have, native speaker will understand you automatically.
Absolutely.
And there's no problem. Yeah, I'm not, oh, I'm sorry, you didn't say, oh, yes, I do. So that's not correct. I can't, I'm sorry, I stopped communication. It's just ridiculous. No one will do that. It's just no.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. And like I tell my clients that the fact that they are trying to communicate in English
yeah,
will set them apart from other people that won't even attempt it. So, well,
yeah, it's just commendable. I've always said that, okay, no matter how criticism they can make, the fact that you actually interacting or having interaction with native speakers is just so brave. It's tremendous. I always praise them, and then I say, good job, keep it. Yeah,
right.
don't stop. Just do it. Yeah.
Yep. And so the people that I coach are wanting to take it to that next level. So they already have at least an intermediate level of English, if not advanced, but they just want to get the nuances and make sure that the things that they've learned are really what native speakers say. You know, sometimes you study things and you're not really sure.
Yeah, that's the thing. I would say that capturing nuances it's part of the advanced language. It's actually understanding why, when, how native speakers use a certain word. For instance, it's something I really like from this level is that how words can change. For instance, when you say, especially when you're talking about movies, franchises, and they say, oh, they milked the franchise here. So with the verb milk, but people generally understand that milk can be used as the verb, but not in the normal way to refer to cows, but in the way to take all of the advantages from something until you literally kill it. That's one thing.
Right.
The other thing is that, for instance, the word call here can also mean decision. So if you say, oh, good call, good decision.
Yes.
But for elementary students, that's just a bomb. But if you want to move forward, start getting a more advanced level, you have to go through that. But it's not really easy. It's difficult. And this is why you have to not only this interaction with natives, but also use the dictionary. People are afraid of dictionaries, and they are so easy to use. I mean, everything is there. You have to use it.
Yeah.
The dictionary here for non-native speakers is your best friend.
Yes.
And there is no other explanation. It's just really straightforward.
And it's so accessible now because everything is digital. We used to have to carry around the big dictionaries.
Absolutely. Yeah. In the area of books, really big books, we had to carry them here. But now is everything digital. You can actually access have access to these dictionaries online here with apps on your phone or your computer. Everything is so quickly to access. I mean, it's really. I mean, what's so complicated? Nothing. It's just nothing. It's really easy. I mean, I don't know why people.
The world is shrinking for sure. and we have access. I mean,
Yes,
the fact that you and I are talking to each other right now, even 10 years ago, would have been difficult. Yeah, it's amazing. It's
yeah, it would have been.
Yeah, I tell, that's why my clients, I say, you can't say anymore that you can't find someone to practice with. But that's why I'm here, because I recognize that there was that need in the marketplace, that people were looking for native speakers, but also that knew enough Spanish that could understand maybe why they were making a mistake they were making, for example. So because I've studied Spanish, I know why people say make instead of do, because I understand that's the same verb in Spanish. So things like that.
Yeah. Actually, there's actually a good piece of advice is that actually I made a post about this on the page. They get really, really crazy. They go ape every time they say make and do. So it's really simple. Don't question it, accept it. I mean, if you say make a suggestion, that's it, end of story. If you say do damage, that's it, end of story. No, they try to think about conspiracy theories. Oh, now it should be even make because you have to build things. Oh, you have to do no. Just there are general rules. Yeah, I understand it. When you say do job, do work, yeah, or do something. Yeah, they're very, very general rules. But when it comes to actual usage, things are completely different. So if I have the word assumption, should I say make an assumption, or should I say do an assumption? Right. So no, it's just say accept it. It's the same with the word mistake, and as a result, yeah, we know that it's the same verb in Spanish, and that's really complicated. Yeah, I understand it, but it's really easy. I'm telling you, okay, make a mistake, end of story.
Right.
Don't question it. It's just really simple.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to move on to something else. Yeah. But if you start thinking, if you're trying to come up with a theories and a kind of explanation that you think it will solve the problem, no, it won't happen.
Right.
So I would say this is why some people here do not really advance.
And the idea of learning things in context, I think, is what you're talking about too. Learn the expression, not just the word.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always actually I was taught to teach that way here. Always contextualize the things here. If it's vocabulary, grammar, with an extract, reading something, with listen to a video here, etc. Watch anything that you can have the contextualization of the context that allows you to understand why. If you pick up those here in context, it's actually easier. Let's say that this idiom here, make ends meet. Yeah. Which can be a little bit difficult to understand here. Okay, but if they're talking about money, you should be able to work out the meaning from context. Sometimes it can be difficult, almost impossible, but at least you have something here to remember. Okay, I remember reading this in the past. And then you do some research, look it up in a dictionary, problem solved.
Exactly. And then that concept often, or that vocabulary will translate into other topics. And so then when you're talking about something else, you can refer back to that and say, oh, I remember that expression.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
yeah. And the thing is, for instance, you could say here, or let's if I'm dealing with more advanced students, oh, do you find it easy or difficult to make ends meet? So the other person will be like, what is that? Yeah, what are we talking about? Oh, we're talking about money here at the end of the month. You have plenty of money to buy things here. Oh, yeah. So you, with the context, when you rephrase or reformulate things here, it becomes easy. So that's a really good way to do it. But yeah, I would say the general advice is always work things in context. Always, yeah. Never pick. This is why I'm against lists. They try to memorize. Oh. Idioms or expressions that native speakers use, but the problem is that as the idiom says, If you don't use it, you lose it.
You lose it. Definitely. That's another
Very
reason
simple.
that that I have my business, is to help people remain consistent practicing their English. So listen, Ale, it's been great talking to you. We're about out of time.
Yeah.
Where can people
Okay. What a pleasure. Yeah.
find you? Give us your social media or whatever.
Well, they can have three places here. We have Facebook with Lengua Inglesa Uso, with the ampersand. It's not really the and. And then the other way is TikTok. Oh, TikTok, my name is confusing. But actually it's at and then Lenglesa. And then, I mean, not the word at, I mean the symbol. At
right.
Lenglesa. And on YouTube, you can find me. The name is Ale's Phonology. But the main source I use here to share all of my things here is on Facebook, on the page. So the main source of it is Lengua Inglesa Uso. So that is where they can find me.
Great. And I will link to those in the description of the podcast. I thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. Okay.